underneath the camera, so I'm looking at you.
Deadly.
Okay.
Right.
Gone.
We're on day 4, guys. And yesterday we couldn't remember what day 4 was, but then when we got off, I remembered. And it's excuses. Excusitis, the failure disease. I read that in a book many, many years ago, and it made me laugh, and it still makes me smile. So many people make excuses why for every different thing. But what we're going to talk about today is people making excuses around this working on themselves, why they're not going to come to a workshop, why they're not even going to open a book, lally lally la. So let's jump in. I know myself and Nicola seldom make excuses. If we do, we catch ourselves on very quickly. And I suppose anybody on the outside looking in, all the beautiful comments and all this week, that's what you're seeing. There's no excuses made. We take responsibility, we take action, we get the work done, and we do it. We don't always want to do it. We don't always want to do it. And there's times when sometimes I want to crawl under a duvet again and forget about this work, because when you're awake like this and you're doing this work, you're constantly looking at ways to improve yourself. So let's jump in. I've wrote down a couple of little things here. Nicola, you go first. What's the most common excuse you get from people, or you hear people saying?
Okay, so before I go in, because I have a list, right? Before I go into the list of excuses that my clients make before they work with me, can I tell you a story that will practically explain excuses? Is that okay?
Oh, deadly. Bring it on.
Okay. So I'm sure you've heard me tell this story before. And when I tell this story, people sometimes ask me, is that a true story? Is that a real story? This is a made up story. I made it up, okay? Just so everybody knows. So here's one version of the type of person. That wallpaper is really annoying me. It's been annoying me ages. So what I did is I took myself down to the wallpaper shop and I purchased wallpaper, and I factored in time that I knew it was going to take me to pull it down and put it back up. So I cooked enough dinners for 2 days so I'd be prepared with the kids. I made sure that my husband had the time off work allocated away from his responsibilities, so I know that we could do it together. So I went, I got the paste, I got the brushes, I got the wallpaper, I pulled it down. Now we're all ready to put it back up, and there'll be no excuses later on about dinner because I prepped it yesterday. And tonight I'm going to be sitting down, looking at my wall with me candles lighting and a glass of wine, celebrating me fantastic work with my family and delighted with myself that I'm looking at something new. That is somebody who sees a problem, prepares and takes action, and then relishes in the fact that they took the action. You with me?
100%.
Or you could be the person who'd say, that wallpaper is really annoying me. It's annoying me ages. And last time I went down to the wallpaper shop's very busy. There's people everywhere. It's kind of annoying me a little bit. And then the kids would be on top of me then, and then they'd be asking me for food, and then I wouldn't have time. And Neil would probably, like, if I didn't give him enough notice, then he'd be complaining about doing it. And do you know what I'll do? I'll wait till things settle. And then when things are better, then I'll change the wallpaper. Not on my shift. Not on my shift, ever. Then you're going to sit and look at the wallpaper for the next 6 months, pissing them on about it. I don't think so.
Yeah, there's never a good time. Do you know what I mean? There's never a good time. The right time is now, I always say.
Yes, the right time is now.
Yeah.
Right, so you give me your list.
There's time, or don't have the money. Can't afford it right now. Kids are going back to school, have to go on holidays. It's Christmas. They need new clothes. The bills have just come, like, on and on. On and on and on. Seriously. Yeah. Seriously. It's never about the money. If you're making it about the money, that's a story. I always say, if you want to do something, think about a time when you really wanted to do something. Nothing got in your way. I always think, I drove this incredible, sexy silver Celica, you know, the old Celicas.
Yes.
Toyota Celica. Oh, it was the bomb, right? I had no money, but I was having a sports car, and I didn't have to know the how. I just knew I was having a sports car. And I remember going into the credit union and leaving with the cash to go and buy that silver Celica. And I drove it around thinking I was the business. I was the business.
Yes.
So when
you are the business, Amanda Delaney.
Absolutely. When you make a decision, the money shows up. But if we're constantly in the excuse-itis of I can't afford that, if that's your first protocol, you'll never afford it. The other way of looking at it is, how can I afford that? So just change that statement. How can I afford that? And watch. Another example of not using that as an excuse. She's not on Facebook. One of mine was saying at Christmas, I can't afford Christmas presents. I've no money. I've no money. I've no money. And I was like, oh, jeepers, you'll never have money if that's what you're going to keep saying. You need to change that and look for a solution. So she did. Within a week.
She just wrote that.
Within a week, her dad had hired her. He was out the door with all his painting and printing. So she got a job off him and she made €100 in her first week. Change what you're saying. Stop.
If you're focusing on the problem, you'll create more of the problem. Whereas we know what the problem is. Now we have to switch that. I'm not stewing in the problem. I don't want to become part and marinate with the problem. I want to move and switch my focus to, okay, we're aware of that. How do I make it better? What actions do I need to take to be able to come up with a solution?
The solution is not in your problem. So move away from that.
Hello.
Move away from that. Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say before we move into another excusitis is thank you so much to everybody who has shared and tagged and commented and cool questions. Just so you know, I don't have a team finding all these things. I am loving it. I get to do that. I get the privilege of reading that every morning. I'm going in and I'm checking them all out. So before we go on, right, I'm going to read out a few names because I love, somebody said the other day, I feel like a celebrity when you call me name. I feel like a celebrity when somebody calls out my name.
Yes, I did earlier on too. On TikTok, oh my God.
Yeah. So let's see. A few people feel like celebrities today because we're all about the experience. We're all about how making you feel, lifting you up, right? So I've got a couple of lists of people. So these people I'm reading out first of all have all asked a question. Here's me dog barking like a lunatic. Gabrielle Brannigan, thank you for asking the question. Marina Caskin has asked a question. Edel Travers, Pauline McPhillips Slowly, Helen Jacobs, Jenny Jones, Karen Bolton. And by the way, all these questions will be asked out tomorrow. Simone McCann has asked a question and maybe tagged somebody, I think. So you're blue. You've done two things. If you let me know if you've shared it, you're in the competition. And Rachel Harmon, you're the same. You've done 2 out of the 3. I'll talk about that now in a second. So who has done all 3 and entered the competition? Fiona Dowd, Linda Murphy, Louise Ryan, Audrey Lestrange, Gemma Maguire, Jennifer Keogh, Linda Hardy, Elaine Morgan, Emma Mongie, Christine Hudson, Geraldine Eskin, Nolene Lang, and Mairead O'Connor. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, Amanda, there's millions of them.
Millions of them. They're all in for the comp tomorrow. Thank you for tagging friends. Lorraine Redmond, Sabrina Hanna, Elizabeth Gilmore, Sheila Cleary, Martina Bell, Denise Lynch, and Tracy O'Reilly for sharing, okay? And we've Nolly Lang, I said that already. So there's just your shout out for well done. Thank you. We a million and
and thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your support.
Continue to do that. Today is the last day. So how do you go into the competition tomorrow to win 2 tickets, like a value of €200, you and a pal, to come to our workshop on August the 13th, tag a friend, share any one of the 5 lives, like any one of the 4 lives, today's or the other 3. You have to tag or let me know you've shared it. I'm going through them. If I don't see it, I don't know. And then the last one is ask us a question. Any question. We've got a ton of cool questions already and we'll be answering them tomorrow. Tomorrow's live is live Q&A. You've asked us the questions and we're going to come on and answer them tomorrow at 2 p.m. So that's it. Keep sharing and we'll keep shouting out. And
great.
Thank you so much.
Amanda, can I just say, Nicholas Gully says, it's great to be here live. Simone McCann says, ladies, you both look so well. So obviously doing what you love and absolutely 100% we wouldn't be doing anything else or be anywhere else. Wendy Shannon says, hi ladies. Margaret O'Neill says, good morning. Simone McCann says, just shared, I would absolutely love to go to the workshop.
Well, you're in because I know I have you down as 2 already. So well done and thanks, Simone. Yeah. I think Simone just started watching them yesterday. So if you're only finding us today, go back. They're all on our pages.
Yeah,
binge watch.
Off you go. So listen, do you want to tell some more?
No, I'm going to take a drink of water. You
drink of water. Okay. So I'll cover the same one that Amanda just did with regard to Time, I think you said.
Yeah.
So people often say to me, very fierce busy, you know, I wouldn't have the time. Well, just so you know, you have the same 24 hours in the day as I do. You have the same 24 hours in a day as Barack Obama does. And you also have the same 24 hours in the day as a homeless person on the street. It just depends on how you use your time. I want you to think of your time like a €500 note. You have to use it very preciously. And sometimes, more often than not, we can be spending our time numbing ourselves on things that are bringing you out of reality, like the soaps in the evening, like a certain show that absolutely does my head in at 9 o'clock at this time of the year, like running around after other people or making yourself really busy when in actual fact you're just avoiding. Okay, so think about what investment of time you are making in yourself. The other one is no childcare, not announced childcare. I bet you people who say there's no childcare, you're flat out minding other people's kids. It's time to call in the favors with your people and say to another mammy, do you know what? I want to invest in myself. It's going to take me 3 hours over there in the Hilton with them too. I'm going to ask you now to take them kids, and I'm going to come back a better version of me, a better mammy and a better friend, a better sister, a better community player. And somebody will rise up and say, yes, I want to support you with that. Yeah. Where do I also sign up for myself, and where do I get you? Me all kids. Okay. Another one. I don't want to go on my own. Don't want to go on my own. Now, here's the thing. Amanda Delaney introduced me to this a couple of years ago, right? I was doing a really big workshop, actually in the Hilton. Yeah. And there was a girl who really, really wanted to come. And she said, didn't want to go on my own. And Amanda said, I'll meet her. I'll meet her out in the lobby, and I'll make sure she sits at my table and she's well-minded and taken care of. And since then, my team now meet people out in the lobby, handhold them and bring them in. It's generally Charlie Bourne as well, my daughter out there. She's the best introducer of the world. Brings you in, sits you down, settles you, buddies you up with somebody, belong to either myself and Amanda personally or my team. When you come into our community, whether you like it or whether you don't, you're no longer on your own, love. They're just the facts. Yes. You're part of the crew.
So just there, I was out walking yesterday evening with a pal of mine whose daughter came to your last event. And it was kind of the first live event for many people since COVID. And I know for me, and look, all you get all day long out of me is the truth. I was overwhelmed. I wasn't in a headspace to say to everybody, oh, come sit at my table. I was just like, just give me a table.
Yeah, I remember that
I really was that shaky, right? I'm not anymore. I've got over it. But that particular day, so later on in the day, I was walking to the toilet or something, and I saw this beautiful young girl who I recognized, and I was chatting away to her. I said, yeah, okay. She was there on her own. She's only a young one. And she said, and I was talking to her mommy yesterday, and she said, she had the best day ever. She said from the moment she walked in, she was put on a table with other people who were there on their own, and they all made pals. Yes. And she said she's the best experience ever. Yeah. So you will not be on your own. Nicola said at one of my events before, I was walking into a big hug.
Yes.
That's what you're coming into, whether you come in to Nicola, me, or both of us. We both know what it's like to walk in as an outsider and be left feeling like an outsider. Yeah. Nobody. Within our power, okay, where it's possible, will ever feel like that in my company, ever. Because I know what it's like to dance around the outside of a circle, and it ain't happening on my watch.
No, I'm all about community, coming together in unity. Inclusivity, feeling safe, and most importantly, I got a flip in my stomach when my brain said it, and now it's going to fall out of my mouth. A sense of belonging.
Yes.
A sense of belonging, and you will have that.
Yeah,
you will have that. The other thing that excuses that people make is that they feel like it's nearly going to be an exam and they have to speak up in the room, right? There are no exams at these events. And you don't have to speak up in the room. You can stay silent, because there's one thing that always happens with Amanda and I, in person and in our online groups, is that there's the power in shared learning. So when somebody else speaks, we're all more similar than we are different. And you're going to learn from other people's the answers to other people's questions. And more often than not, you learn from the question too. So even though you might think you might not want to speak up in the room or you have a fear of public speaking, you don't have to do that. But I promise you, because of the culture and the environment, if you do have a question, you will ask it.
Yeah.
You will ask it because it's such a safe space to fall. Do you know what I mean? And listen, we get naked emotionally on those days. You know, emotionally naked walking around, telling our own private stories, as do other people. If you've never experienced an event with Amanda and I before, and this is going to be our first one. Okay, asking questions, I covered that. And the second last one that I want to say is, I remember one woman one time in Warrior Women, an event that I used to do years ago, and she said, I just thought I was too old for all of this.
Oh.
Not on my shift. She also said she wasn't aware she could have values and boundaries.
Yes.
And from working with this lady for a short period of time, she lives locally here, in her 50s. She ended a 35-year career and went off and started a new career. And when she sees me in the town, she goes like that. She gives me the wink and she goes about her business. She's flying. And then the last thing that I want to say is this, and then I'm going to hand the floor over to Amanda, is there's an Irish fella, can't think of his name, you might know his name, Amanda, and he helps people with weight loss. And I'm paraphrasing now, but he has this quote where he says, all the people who say, yeah, but, have the biggest butts.
I don't know his name, but that's class.
Isn't that class? Isn't that class? Yeah, but I couldn't do that because of this. And yeah, but I couldn't do that because of this. And then he says that, but I bet your butt is big.
Oh, I love it. There's something that I want to share, and it's something that personally, a fear that came up for me only the January 2021, I think it was, when I decided, right, I need to go deeper on my own personal journey. And the fear that came up for me was, oh God, if I do this work, who am I going to become? I knew it was irrational, but it was genuinely a fear. But I can tell you this, there was nothing to fear because I just become a better version of me. That's all. Now, last year it really did. Things went up in the air. We're going to talk about that now in a minute. But you know what? Sometimes when we're having like what looks like an absolutely breakdown, you're actually having a breakthrough.
Yes.
So I feared who I was going to become. I had got a little, and now it's like I'm a blossom. So see those flowers behind me? When I planted them, they were purple. Now I deadheaded them all the time, and now they're pink. And I didn't put that there on purpose. I just said to Ian Delaney, can you just change my background today? And he brought them in from the garden. And it was only when I looked at them, I said, they were purple. And I looked and there was a couple of dead purple ones in there.
My God.
Those are pink.
Wow.
So there you go. That sums up that. Don't fear what's going to happen to me. Who am I going to become? What's this change going to be all about? You don't have to know the how to.
Yes.
You just have to put the step forward and move the excuses to the side. Stop focusing on them and just say, I am.
Yeah.
It's my turn. I'm worth it. I deserve this. It's for me. Why not me? And once you keep doing that and you keep taking that step forward, because I guarantee you there's something, won't happen to everyone, but there'll be a couple of you that ego is going to come in and try and stop you and rob you from the opportunity of becoming a better version of yourself. Not because it's mean or it wants to sabotage this for you. It's trying to protect you. It thinks it's
small, safe.
Good. Yeah, but it's not. I'm here to tell you, you have a pink flower inside you. That it's ready. If you're feeling or watching any of this now, you're ready.
You're here for a reason. Yeah.
You didn't come across this by accident.
Your ego is like, change, something new. Don't do that. Oh God, no. Stay over here where it's safe and grey.
Yeah.
And come here, there was one more thing. Oh yeah, about a fear. Some people fear losing some of the people that they have in their life. when they do spiritual development and when they look at their values, they have a fear that they'll be left with nobody and that they will lose key players in their current life. And I know this for a fact, because I've done this thousands of times with people. If that person is supposed to be in your life, no matter how many changes you make, they will be in it. But if you are going to lose that person through this work, you are going to lose them anyway, further down the road.
Yeah, they're not working.
Okay. Fact.
Yeah.
And the only difference between now and then, if you don't do the work, is pain. And the only difference between now and doing the workshop and making the changes and them leaving your life more quickly is peace. Amen, sister.
And we'll be talking about peace tomorrow. You still have loads of questions about peace. How do you find it? How do you keep it? How do you value it? So there's loads of questions about peace tomorrow. So tune in for that. And the last thing I have down here is the last time I did this, blah, 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 blah. So maybe if you've gone down the road of reading a book or trying to do something and it didn't work or whatever. So that's okay. That's okay. Because I remember when I was trying to learn to drive, and my first driving instructor used to put the radio on, and I was pregnant at the time, and I was only a kid, I was only 18, and I'd be in that car and he'd have the radio on and he'd be chatting about the chat show. And one day the conversation turned about sex and all. I was like, oh, I was dying, right? I was dying in the car. Now I got out of that and I said to my older sister, I'm never doing that again. That was horrendous. I know I was no prude, but I felt very intimidated.
And I would die if that happened to me now.
Oh, so then she rang them up or whatever. But what I'm saying is, he wasn't the teacher for me. Everything he did was wrong. Did I not drive? No, I drive. I just found another teacher to teach me how to drive.
Yes.
So sometimes we can try something, give it a go, and for whatever reason, that teacher's not right. Or it could be that you try something, and at that time, now, I mean, it's not an excuse beforehand, but you've given it a go, but maybe you didn't continue the work. Scratch the surface.
Yeah.
And now's the time. You're ready to go back in.
It's like, and I know Denise won't mind me saying this because she said it publicly, but she was having a wobble a little while ago. And she rang me and she goes, I'm after having a bath and I put rose petals in all the water and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Persistent and insistent, which are habits, Denise. She was like, I know.
Not one bath.
One bath's not going to heal you. One chapter in a book's not going to heal you. Can I just read out a comment here from Michelle McCullough? She says, listening to you guys and decluttering my house at the same time, keeping me motivated, ladies. And that's brilliant that she's doing that, because when you're listening to conversations like the conversation Amanda and I are having, which is very healthy, it's very growth, very expansive conversation, you're not only cleaning the inside. I always feel like conversations like these are having a shower in your mind. You're also doing it on the inside and on the outside. And the clutter in your home, especially in your hot press, is relative to the clutter of your mind. So you're doing both at the moment, Michelle, so well done.
Yeah, I only heard that about the hot press a while ago, and I gave it a good clear out and got lovely storage units and tidied it all up now.
There you go. I did a video on that years ago, and people were going bananas. They were like, no, that's the one place I never clean. I'm like, that's the one place you have to go.
I'm a bit freaky like that. If I know at the moment there's stuff in my attic, I know it's there. And here's Ian, nobody can see it. I'm like, I know it's there.
I can see it in my mind.
Yeah, so look, that's it. This is your last day to share, tag, and ask us a question. Make sure you do that and enter into the competition for the 2 tickets. I actually wanted to give somebody a shout out, and I can't remember who it was, but she's in the competition. But guess what? She bought 2 tickets yesterday. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because that's like what I did with my daughter at Christmas.
Yeah.
And I said to her, it's the law of attraction.
Yeah.
That woman knows she's going.
Yes.
I think
she's going no matter what.
No matter what, she's made that decision. So what I'm saying to you is, if you're going, that decision, I'll say it again. I'm actually going to repeat what I said in the other video. The magic happens in step 1, making the decision.
Yes, make the decision.
I'm just going to shut up. That's it.
Make the decision. Come here, Amanda. It's been a fantastic week with you. I can't wait for tomorrow.
No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Tomorrow will be phenomenal. Keep the questions coming. We could be on for an hour, but sure, hey, you can put us in the ears, go for a walk.
That's it.
And get all those answers. But Nicola, it has been an absolute pleasure. And I'll see you tomorrow. I can't believe tomorrow's day 5.
I know, we'll miss it now next week.
Definitely will. Definitely will.
Take it easy and have a fantastic afternoon. Get yourself out into the sunshine.
I was going to say slán.
Slán! High five.
High five, sister.
Listen, take it easy.
Brilliant. Take care, man.
Catch you later.
Bye.